Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Purposely Broken World. I'm your host, Mr. Kevin Nunez, and I'm so thrilled to be spending some more time with you. I want to talk today about how to be a successful disability advocate. Because the word advocate gets tossed around a lot. But and we all are advocates to an extent, but how do we get to be recognized disability advocates? You might hear the air conditioning on in the background, but it's hot as the devil's balls outside. So, sorry, not sorry if you hear my air conditioning in the background. It is what it is. I got the lighting to be good, so it works out okay. Now, how to be a successful disability advocate? First of all, realize that you already are an advocate. That's number one. You're an advocate for yourself and maybe those around you. Example, I have a twin brother. Sometimes people don't understand how he speaks, so I have to interpret what he's saying. Is that a successful advocate? Yes. What I'm talking about here is successful in formal settings. Whether you're on a disability council or you're called to testify in front of a Congress or any other legislative body, or even if it's a formal Zoom call. How to survive, interact, and thrive in those encounters. I've made a small list. We're just gonna go through the list, and feel free to leave any questions or concerns in the comments below. First of all, realize you're not advocating for just yourself or just your brother. You're advocating, in some cases, for the entire disability community. Is that fair? No. Is it ableist? Yes. But it is what it is. I can't tell you how many times I've been the only disabled person in a room that's supposed to be about diversity or equity or whatever. And I'm the only disabled person in that group. So, with that being said, realize that from a certain perspective, you now became a symbol of an entire race, of an entire culture that you didn't sign up for. That leads me to point number two. Relax, be yourself. But at the same time, don't relax all the way that you forget who you are. There's an old saying, dress to impress. Obviously, you're not always going to go in a suit and tie to every meeting. If you can do that, that's wonderful, that's great. Go ahead and do it. I'll be the first one to go help you. Go find a tailor. Like, I love getting dressed up. So, if you can do that, that's fine. That's you. But you have to realize that as much as they say they're disability friendly, as much as they say they include people with disabilities, they've been taught ableism since the cradle. On a subconscious level, whether we want to realize it or not, we are all ableist. Let me give you an example, really quickly. The book Me Before You, yes, I know it's an ableist book, because if you haven't read it, spoiler alert, but the book is 20 years old, so I don't consider it a spoiler. It's also a movie. But anyway, moving on. Um, the protagonist of the book is a person who's paralyzed from the neck down. He falls in love with a caregiver, and they fall in love, yada yada yada. It's a romantic love story, but at the end, he decides to kill himself because he doesn't want to put her through that negative aspect of being with a disabled person. his whole entire life. Even though she loves him, he still wants to sacrifice himself and be noble because he has a disability, and it's taught as a romantic, beautiful love story. And it is, but at the same time, it's not because it's ableism all the way. Yeah. Um, have taught people how they see disability. Until they get to know you, you are their token. You are their, like, fun little plaything. You gotta show them your value. Is that fair? No. But guess what? The world's not fair. You know that already. This is not a motivational, like, talk. I'm not here to motivate you. This is to encourage you. And there's a difference between motivating and encouraging. They're not synonyms. Look it up. Um, the key here is, so be yourself. Recognize your surroundings. They're not your enemy, but they're not your friend until they get to see the real you. So put your best self forward always. Um, you are there to educate them. They're not there to educate you. Yes, in the end, we'll all learn together. When I was invited to the State of the Union, the first question I was asked by the staff was how to use Medicaid. They had no idea what Medicaid was. I know for some of us, Medicaid is elementary because we've used it every single day of our life. For us, it's like a rudimentary question, but it's not to a lot of people. So you gotta be the example. You gotta be the education piece. Again, so you will start out as a token. It just is what it is. You gotta show them your value. You start out at a disadvantage. You always do. Especially if it's a virtual meeting of any kind. Just because, simply put, it's hard for us to control our surroundings all the time. A regular person, is very easy for them to just get up and close the door, or like text their significant other, "Hey, in the next room, be quiet." That doesn't always work in our case. So learn to go with the flow and like adapt, like you've been doing your entire life. Let me give you an example here. When I was launching the Disability Legislative Caucus in New Jersey, I'll put the link for the Disability Legislative Caucus in the show notes. I think as of right now, there are 8 Disability Legislative Caucuses in New Jersey. There are 8 Disability Legislative Caucuses throughout the U.S. I'll put them in the show notes, so you can find yours, or maybe you will have the idea to start your own in your state. But when I helped launch this caucus with the help of the New Jersey Disability Council, I was on a virtual Zoom meeting with the president of the New Jersey Senate, and my grandma, who's listening to the mass in like 2 rooms down. She's Catholic woman doing the mass on a Wednesday night because it was during COVID, so she was like watching the mass every night, on YouTube. She comes out in her nightgown and gives me a kiss as the peace of Christ, the peace of God go with you. Again, beautiful sentiment, but not always appropriate when you're in a meeting. So when that kind of thing happens, make a joke out of it, laugh, so they have to laugh. It's not fair to make them comfortable, but if you're comfortable, they're comfortable, and sometimes they're not comfortable. So we have to be that extra space. We have to be their comforter. The world is not comfortable for us. Until it is, we gotta bend to their rules until we have the right tools so we can change the system. We don't have the tools to burn the system down and start over. If we did that, it would cost more lives than we could afford. So as of right now, we have to work within the system. Yes, there's enemies. Yes, there's ableism. Yes, it's a real thing. But stay focused on the goal. Stay focused on the bigger picture. Don't make it about you. That makes it another point. Advocacy is a bridge to the world. Disability is a part of the political arena. How much a walker how much should a walker cost? How much should a wheelchair cost? On what days does the trash get picked up at your house? Those are all political questions. The idea that disability is not a political issue is kind of an illusion because we are. Because every person in the world will be affected at some point by disability. It just is. Like, either you are born disabled or you'll become disabled at some point. It's the way of the world. So with that being said, realize that you have that advantage. You have a realization that they don't. So your job that you didn't agree to, but it's your job since the get-go, is to help them see the difference they have to make. Realize you're not going to win every battle. Realize you're going to lose sometimes. I've been in meetings, I've been a part of votes, where you're just not going to get what you want and you know that going in. So learn to take things on the chin, just like you've been doing your whole life. And roll with the punches, just like you've been doing. So you're built to be advocate. But the reason I did this particular podcast today, is because we need new disability advocates. Yes, we had Judy Cooman. Yes, we had the Kennedy family way back when. I am a generation past Judy Cooman. I was born in 87, so I grew up in the early days of passage of the ADA. There is a whole generation of advocates out there that need to be tapped into the advocacy political arena urgently, because yes, those advocates did a tremendous job, but it is up to us to not drop the ball, keep it rolling, and pass the torch to the next generation. Because while disability cannot be a partisan issue, it has to be a Democrats who are disabled. Yes, there are Republicans who are disabled. People with disabilities did vote for Donald Trump. People with disabilities did vote against Donald Trump. This idea that disability can only vote for one political party is not true. People voted for Trump with disabilities. They're not the enemy, because disability doesn't have a race. It doesn't have a culture. It is its own culture. It is its own disability. But it doesn't have the same culture and the same race as every other culture in the world. It's outside of the boxes. Disability. That's why I love it so much. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. I mean, heck, I won't be able to get this podcast out in time when I want to, because it took so long to get someone to help me set up my, little space here to produce a podcast for you. So I'm gonna miss a week of podcasting. It's gonna annoy me, but it's okay. The important thing is the message gets out. The world isn't perfect. You know that. Your job is to help break the cycles and the ableism and the illusions that this world has. Whether you're testifying in front of Congress, whether you're at a council meeting, whether you're in front of a human rights board at a local provider group, you have to be a voice. You've got to bring them solutions. Don't be the whiner. So often, people with disabilities are seen as the whiners. That's why people think less of us, because we just sit there and whine. Don't just whine. Give them a solution. Because they might know the problem. Some might understand the problem. But nobody has solutions because they don't live that solution. You do have a solution because you have to live it. You're the one that knows what it's like to not have a caregiver in the morning. You're the one that understands what Medicaid will have, what will happen if you don't have Medicaid. You know that. They don't. They'll say they do because they see the numbers. But in your life, in your day-to-day life, to get out of bed, or to make sure your friend who can't talk gets fed in the same group home, you know what that means if they don't have Medicaid. So get to know your legislators, get to know your congresspeople, get on your disability councils. If you can't get on, that's fine. If you can't get on them, but you can go to their public meetings. Go to your disability rights networks. Let them know what issues you're facing. Go to your Center for Independent Living. They're about to be eliminated in the current budget. Okay? Help Congress understand why you need Center for Independent Living. Help Congress understand what a center for excellence is about. It's not just education. It's so much more. But they don't know that. To them, it's a sentence. It is a sentence on a piece of paper. So, get out there. Make a difference. Maybe I said something to you. Maybe I didn't say anything to you. Either way, I hope you have a good day, and I will see you next time. Hey friends, did you like that episode? Did you find value in it? I hope you did. If you did, then do me a favor. Support the Value for Value method. This is very simple. It's just me and Jesus putting this thing together. So if you liked it, click like. If you want to share it, click share. If you want to follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. Want to follow me on Facebook? Follow me on Facebook. All my social medias are down in the description below. If you want to subscribe, I have a paid newsletter that comes out every other Monday. If you want to donate directly, there's Cashapp and PayPal. I also publish 2 books called Living Beyond Disability. It's a book series available on Amazon, also in the description below. With that being said, thank you for your time, and hope to see you next time.